Hey guys, we're going to do literal equations. So we're going to learn how to solve literal equations. All that means is an equation with all letters. So let me give you an example. This is what we've been doing. X plus 4 equals 10. We're solving for x. So x plus 4 equals 10. We got to move the plus 4x over to the right by subtracting 4. Then x equals, right, this cancels, x equals 6. This is what we've been doing. We've been doing this for weeks now. Now, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to solve for x. So we're going to get x by itself, but instead of numbers, they're letters. So how do you move that y over? It's plus y. You move it the same way you would move a plus 4. You would subtract a y. That gives you x equals, again, these cancels, and x equals b minus y. This would be our answer, x equals b minus y. We can't simplify this because they're not like terms. So our final answer is just x equals b minus y. Here's another one. I got the normal problem here on the left, right? We're solving for x. We're going to move the minus 4. We're going to add 4. That gives us x equals 9. We do the same thing here when we're solving for x. We need to move the minus y over. So we add y to both sides. So x is equal to b plus y. This is our answer. We can't combine this. They're two different letters. So this would be our final answer. Same thing. Let's say in this one, we're going to solve for x. We'll say x again. So we need to move this y over. Exactly if it was a number. If it was 4, we would subtract 4. It's y, so we do the same thing. We're still going to subtract y. This cancels, and we're left with x equals z minus y. This would be our answer. Now here's a little bit different. This is multiplication. We know how to do this one. We divide by 2, and that gives us x equals 5. So this is the same thing if we're solving for x. Still multiplication. We're going to divide by y on both sides. So slightly different on this one is we divided by y from both sides. So this is x equals, since we can't simplify this like we did here, we have to write it as the fraction, z over y. Get another example of that when we get to this one. So 2x minus 5 equals 10. This is what we've been doing. We're going to add the 5 to both sides, showing all my steps because that's what you do in math. And then we're going to divide by 2. X equals 7.5 or 15 over 2. Here, same thing, except now it's xy, x times y minus b equals z. We're solving for x. I'm going to move the minus b over exactly the way I did with the minus 5. So that's plus b. That gives me xy equals z plus b because I can't combine it. And now I'm going to divide both sides by y, but I have to divide this whole right side by y. So that's going to give me x equals z plus b over y. We're doing it the same way. The only difference is we can't do the combining. And here you have to remember that y is under both the z and the b, so it's one big fraction. Now this one, a normal, how do you solve for x? Bottom number of a fraction, you're going to multiply both sides by 4. X equals 80. This one, same thing. If we're solving for x, we're going to multiply both sides of the fraction by y. X equals by, because when they're next to each other, that's multiplication. So normal, I'm going to move the plus 5 over by subtracting. That gives me x over 2 equals negative 1, right? 4 minus 5 is negative 1. And then, just like the previous example, multiply both sides by 2, x equals negative 2. So if we're solving for x, we move the b over first by subtracting, just like over here. Right? The opposite of plus is minus. That gives us x over y equals c minus b. Because I can't simplify it, so I have to write it like that. And then when I move the y over, remember I'm multiplying everything by y. So I have x over here because they cancel. And over here, I have a y times c minus b. That y, you have to multiply the both. So I put it in parentheses. And I'll do more examples of this and on the previous one too. So this is like the previous one, minus 10, both sides. I don't feel like I should have to explain this too closely because we've done these two steps so many times. All we're doing now is just treat these if there's letters. But the same steps, the steps are the same. Subtract b, that gives us this. Then divide by y. So that gives me x equals z minus b over y. This one's a special case. X times y times z equals b. If we're solving for x or solve for x, we want to move both x. We want to move both the y and the z over. This is all multiplication. So to move it over, I would just divide by whatever I don't want. I don't want the y and I don't want the z, so I'll divide by those. These cancel. I just left with x equals b over yz. So that would be true no matter what. Here, I'll do it again. X, y, z equals b. If I solve for z, I would do the same thing. It's multiplication. So to remove them, I need to divide both sides by them. Cancels, cancels. Z equals b over xy. You're going to see this type of problem again. So this is an old example, right? Something we've done where we distribute 6x plus 8 equals 20. We subtract 8. 6x equals 12. We divide by 6. X equals 2. We've done that so many times. So here's the same thing, except with a couple extra letters. So if we're solving for x, we're going to multiply 5. 5x plus 10y equals 15, right? Distribute. Now we're solving for x, so I'm going to move this number here. It's plus 10y, so the opposite of plus 10y would be subtract 10y. Now that gives me 5x equals 15 minus 10y. Because I can't combine them because this has a letter and this doesn't. And now to get x by itself, this is multiplication, so I have to divide by everything. X equals 15 minus 10y all over 5. One thing that we'll talk about, especially in the next unit, is that this is the same thing. 15 over 5 minus 10y over 5. Right, this and this are the same thing. Because this 5 is under both of them. Because when you do something to one side, you have to do it to everything on the other side. So this is the same as this. Since it's the same, we can simplify. because 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So this would be our final answer. What we're going to do, if I solving for x, we're going to move plus y over a minus y. X equals z minus y. One step. You show your work, do one step. Same thing as before, where we distribute 2x plus 2y equals 24. Solving for x, I'm going to move this over here. That's going to give me 2x equals negative 2y plus 24. Right, negative 2y, positive 24. I'm going to divide everything by 2. It's the easiest way to do it. This is going to give me x. This is going to give me negative y. And this is going to give me 12. Let's do another one. How many more do I have? Oh, a few, 20. So again, minus 4, x equals y minus 4. Pretty simple, that one. This one, solving for x, minus 4. That gives me 2x over here. Over here, I have y minus 4. I'm going to divide by 2. This is going to be x. This is y over 2. And this is minus 2. All right. Let's do this one. Let's do solving for y. You're going to end up having to do a lot of these where you're solving for y. So let's start now and solve for y. Minus 2x. Right? This is just a number. Opposite of this positive number is a minus. So that gives me 2y, right? 2y equals negative 2x plus 4, right? Positive, negative. I'm going to divide by 2. Everything, if I divide something on one side, I have to divide it on everything on the other side. Y equals negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, or just negative x. I don't have to put negative 1x there, and this is 2. So that would be our answer. So again, let's do the same thing. Let's solve for y. I'm going to move 4x over. 2y equals negative 4x plus 10. I'm going to divide everything by 2. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. All right. Same thing if I wanted to solve for y. I'm going to subtract the x. 2y equals negative x plus 10. I'm going to divide by 2. This is going to be y. This is negative 1 over 2x, right? Negative 1/2 x, because there's an imaginary 1, which I don't need to write. And then this is plus 5. 1/2 x. Negative 1/2 x plus 5. All right. Last one. One of these again. If I'm solving for y, this is all multiplication. I'm going to divide by everything that's not y, because I want to get y by itself. All right, so this will be the second time you've seen this. So hopefully me going over it again will refresh your memory.